right, welcome back to another student interview. Today we're sitting down with Zach. He's from the Philippines. Joined our program. I don't know the exact date, so maybe Zach, you can fill us in on how long it's been. But so far you've gone from starting your business, going from a freelancer to agency owner, and now I know you're still in college as well, which is one of the reasons we wanted to get you on, Zach. We have a lot of people that watch us that are in a job in college. They think, hey, I don't have time for this, so I think it'd be really valuable for you to share a bit of your story, man. Welcome in.
Yeah, man. I'm still in college, working part-time as an agency owner. I actually started the program just this year, beginning of
Mhm.
2023. And just doing it on the side. I'm very busy with work and service delivery because I'm also a freelancer, right? So the time that I had to dedicate with Six Figure Accelerator was like probably like less than a couple hours a day. And
Hmm.
that was more than enough to just like to absorb everything that I needed and to just equip me with all the ammo that I need to get this started. So I was like, every single day I set a time block for 6FA. Like, okay, good morning. I just woke up, get my coffee, then watching and listening to Adam or when I'm eating. So that time block is super dedicated to the program and no distractions at all. And it's been working great. Like I didn't have to dedicate a lot of time to it. And it's super manageable, even if I'm super busy.
Nice, man. Nice. That's good to hear. And Zach, one thing I wanted to touch on real briefly was the fact that you're in the Philippines. We have a lot of people that speak to us and think that if they're in the Philippines or a country where the income is lower than places like Europe and America, that they can't do this. And I think that's a massive limiting belief for a lot of people because you're an example of that. And we've dozens of other students that have shown us that time and time again, it doesn't matter where you're from. Like it really, really
Exactly.
doesn't. What are your thoughts on that, man? Like, do you feel like it held you back in any way, or do you think it was just, maybe a mindset block that people have?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I started my entrepreneurial journey, I was like, I'm from the Philippines. This is already a disadvantage, right?
Mm.
So same with people in developing countries. I know they feel the same,
Hmm.
but you got to understand that in this day and age, we're living in an international community. Like I could literally hit up a business owner in Ireland, and then we can set up something if we're like, because like this is the internet, man. It's the power of the internet.
Yeah.
So and people don't care where you're from. They're not, oh, you're from a developing country. I shouldn't pay you that much. They don't give a fuck. Sorry,
Exactly.
sorry, Chris. They don't care. And that's when I realized that, after having clients from different countries that they don't really care if you're from the Philippines or any developing country, you're good, man. You have the same opportunities.
So true, man. So true. So where are your clients from, Zach, and how many clients do you have right now?
Right now, I have 5 clients and some that I still take one off because that's what I usually do before I got my own agency. I do one offs.
Hmm.
I do a lot of graphic work, graphic design work, and video editing, thumbnail creation, even
Yeah.
some basic Photoshop work and video editing. I still do that on the side. I do that on one offs. And then I have 5 clients right now that are recurring monthly.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And for those clients, where are they based? What countries?
Oh, I have like 2 clients from Seattle
Hmm.
and one from Australia, then one from Ireland and one from New Jersey.
No
Very
way. One
diversified.
from Ireland, huh?
Yeah, one from
Nice.
Ireland.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So anybody that's watching, if you're from a developing country, if even if you're just from somewhere in Europe and you're in a country that's not an English speaking country, it's only an excuse. It's only a disadvantage if you think it is. And Zach has just shown us that his clients are all around the world, US, Ireland, and other countries. So that's a limiting belief, and you need to work on that if you're thinking that right now. Okay, Zach. So you mentioned you have the monthly recurring clients. You used to do quite a lot of one-off work, graphic design and such. With the monthly recurring clients, what kind of packages do you sell to them? What kind of price point do you charge, and what ultimately is your offer?
My offer right now is like doing basically short form content creation and
Sweet.
just brand setup, optimization, optimizing their profile, writing a copy for their bio, like doing graphic, since I do have some graphic history, right? Experience.
Yeah.
So I do the vector myself for their highlights on their Instagram,
Hmm.
something that represents their brand, their color scheme, their logo, their same vibe. I'm creating that aesthetic for them. So I do that to set them up. And then depends on how many pieces of short form they want per month. Could be 10,
Hmm.
15, 20, 30. I have a client that wants 3 posts a day. So that's the biggest one that I have right now. And it really depends on what the clients need. are, but definitely short form content and brand setup.
Solid, man. Solid. Wow. 3 a day. That's a lot of volume, man. That's 90 per month. Must be a big client.
Yeah, that's the biggest one I have right now.
Nice. Nice. Solid,
Yeah.
man. And when it comes to the whole sales process, Zach, like what has been your most effective client acquisition strategy? What has worked the best for you in terms of getting their attention? So whether that's Instagram, cold DMs, cold email, etc. But also then when it comes to selling them, how have you closed those clients? I presume you did Zoom calls, but what was kind of like your thought process behind all of that, and how did you do it?
I mean, my thought process just right from the bat is to give value.
Yeah.
Like if I come across their post on the hashtags, I mean, this is elaborated in a much, much deeper level in the course. I just followed everything there. So basically found them on some specific hashtag searches because my niche is pretty sharp. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I basically have three things, right? First thing is untapped niche, preferably. Second is irresistible offer. Then third is volume. So if those three boxes checks out, I'm good to go. So at first, I find someone with a very specific niche. I give them value straight up. I say, hey, really like the content you're doing. I think we can do this. I say like, I don't mean to be invasive, but maybe we can improve on this, blah blah blah. And then they say they're open to hearing me out. And then at the end of that, I say, hey man, why don't I just create a free piece of content for you? Then once they agree, I do the piece of content for them, takes like 30 minutes or 1 hour, depends. I give it to them and then I offer them to hop on a quick call because I've already given them value and they feel like they owe me. So they feel more obliged to hop on a call and then
Nice.
close them on there, maybe do one or two Zoom calls. Signed.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, you touched on some really key things there. Obviously, as you mentioned, that strategy, it's a very basic strategy, but it works, right? It works when you pair it with volume. And I really think that's a key point there of first you're giving the value, massively important. So many people come in with a mindset of I'll message businesses, and if they don't respond back to me, like they don't want me. It's not the case most times. It's they don't understand what you're even doing. They don't even understand the value. So why would you want something if you don't know the value? So the fact that you're giving
Hmm.
that value is just it just makes the sales process so much easier, man. So obviously that's the way to go. And the volume as well.
Exactly.
What kind of volume would you suggest, Zach, to somebody that's just starting up? Would that be 50 DMs a day? Would you do more than that? What kind of number do you think is reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, every single day I don't really like meet a specific number of DMs per day. But yeah, my main acquisition uh I guess method is cold DMs on Instagram.
Hmm.
Every single day I set two time blocks for outreach. So because Instagram times you out sometimes when you send a lot of DMs. So I do two time blocks, the first one in the morning, and then I max it out. When Instagram says I can't send anymore, all right, I'm done. It could be 21, 24, or 30 DMs
Hmm.
just in that specific time block. And then I'll return later tonight and then add like 10 or 15 more. So I do like 40 to 50 every single day. And it's really about consistency. You don't have to do like, oh, I want to send 200 a day. And then after 2 weeks, you're done. You're just done. Like it has to be a standard in your life that every single day from now on, my life is like this. I'm going to send this many I'm going to send this many messages every single day and just do it. Like you don't have to focus on intensity. It's more really like consistency.
100% agree, man. 100% agree. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So if you're gonna
Exactly.
do, yeah, if you're gonna do 200 DMs a day, cool. But can you do that for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months? If you can, fantastic. If not, drop the volume and then pull that time horizon out. Makes a lot of sense, man. Solid. And Zach, with you being in college, like how do you manage that? Because you mentioned you do some outreach in the mornings. I presume then you got some classes during the day, assignments you got to do, etc. How do you manage the agency work? Do you find it's a crunch and you got to really be specific with your time, or do you find it quite easy?
I guess it's easy if you have a system, right? So
Mhm.
college right now is not really doing a lot of in-person classes. A lot of it is still online, and some of them are face-to-face, like in-person classes. But most days it's online classes, so I do have a lot of time to dedicate to optimizing the agency, some service delivery here and there, doing sales, marketing, a lot of that stuff. It's still very manageable, but yeah, as I said earlier, it's about like literally setting dedicated intentional time blocks. Like what I usually do with my phone is like I go on the clock app on my iPhone. I set like 1 hour and then I stand the phone or I can see it ticking. So it's ticking, right? So I know that, oh, this is it. This is intentional. For this 1 hour, I'm not allowed to do anything except what I set out to do. So I think that really gives me the urgency to, and then the reminder to just keep going at it, like dedicate this time to this specific task and do that with every single task of the day. And, do that every single day. You're very organized and systemized. How I keep it organized.
I like that, man. I like that. And there's a quote, Zach, you've probably heard it, but how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think that probably applies between how you're running your business with systems, with structures, with set times where you do certain things. That probably translates to the college as well. So I'm sure when it's time to study and cram for exams, probably won't be that hard for you because you'll know, okay, I just have to dedicate these certain hours to those activities. I've got other time blocks in the day, which will still be for business, and you'll somehow balance that. Whereas I think if people don't have the systems, well, then it's chaos, right? Like trying to balance the
Correct.
two might be a nightmare.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, just you got to be organized. I mean, if you don't, everybody has just 24 hours, right? It's
Mhm.
really about how you dedicate your hours. And when people say, oh, I sleep at 12, I wake up at 4, I grind, hustle, hustle. But then, like, what are you doing with the 20 hours, really? Like, I sleep 8 hours and I probably get more done in 16 than you in 20. So it's like, it's really about being organized and, being intentional.
Hell yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I find sleep is important too, Zach. I get my 8 hours as well, man. Always. Gotta be.
Nice.
Nice one, man. For beginners, Zach, what do you think should be the focus? You've touched already on the consistency. You've also touched on the volume. I think those two things are massive. But you also touched on giving value, right? And again, as I mentioned, a lot of people skip that and they kind of go in with a mindset of businesses should pay me, not I need to provide enough value so that it's a no-brainer, right? And that they think, of course, I'm going to do this. What are some other things that you think beginners should know, and I guess some things that you wish you knew when you first started?
I mean, just you got to be ready for the bad days. There's gonna be like a whole drought. Like, gonna be like you're doing outreach for 10 days, let's say,
Mhm,
and during those 10 days you don't see results. So just, I guess, detach from the results. Say,
mhm.
hey, I'm gonna do this 2 week challenge. I'm gonna do 40 to 50 outreach per day. I'm not allowed to moan. I'm not allowed to complain. Super zone in on this and not allowed to quit or stop. Just finish the 14 days and see what happens. So like, just detach your emotions from the results, because at first you're gonna be very motivated. You're gonna be very hyped. Like, yeah, this is gonna change my life. But then if you're not, I mean, you already touched on this. You said that don't expect 1,000 euros when you're putting out 10 euro efforts, right? It's something like that. So it's
Yeah,
like
nailed it.
you have to detach from the results and just get the work done. Just start now. Do the outreach, sit down, build your systems. Like, literally just sit down and detach from the results. Just do the work.
100%. Love that, man. Love that mindset. 100% agree. And Zach, when it comes to our program, I'd love to get your input on what you think has been the most beneficial for you. Some people that work with us get the most benefit from just the course, right? Like the video content, the templates. Other people, they watch that, but really they get the value from the weekly coaching calls, the one-to-one support, and the community. What kind of element, which aspect do you think is the most important for you, and what has helped you the most?
What has helped me the most? I guess this is not going to be like the common answer, but really it's about, like you said, there was a part of that in that course where you said you have to optimize your life, right? You don't make $10,000 because you want to make $10,000. Like, you have to be the person that makes that money. And in order to do that, you have to optimize your life. You have to change your identity, your habits, your thoughts, your beliefs, all that stuff. And when you really put that into, like, you manufacture your reality and you're the person that deserves to make 10K per month, then it's gonna happen. Like, you just have to do it. Really comes back down to my earlier point. Just do and sit down and do the work, because you're already that person. It's only a matter of time. It's like, yeah, optimize your life.
I like that, man. I like that. And that's a part of the program, Zach, that I think some people will skip, right? Because they'll think mindset, like this is bullshit, this doesn't work, like I don't need this. I need the strategies, right? Like I need to know what do I send, what's the magic script, and then I'll do that.
Yeah,
But if
copy paste
you
shit. Yeah.
yeah, literally, man. But like if you don't have, as you said, the identity, all of this stuff doesn't matter. So really, really key, and I'm really glad you went through that stuff, man. I'm glad that you found it valuable. And just as some final words, Zach, for somebody starting off, you've already given some really great advice of just be organized, work, like you just said there, on your mindset, your self identity, on your willingness to just put in the effort, setting that time block as well to say, hey, look, I'm going to do this for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I'm not expecting a result. If I get a result, fantastic. But I'm still going to do the work. I'm still going to put in the inputs. What are some other things? If somebody's watching this video, probably means they're interested in working with us in some way, shape, or form. Probably thinking,
Mhm.
won't work for me. Zach got lucky,
Mhm.
or something magical happened in his life that just made this happen. What would you say to that person?
I mean, if you're thinking about starting your own agency and joining Adam's program, I guess you really have to change who you are as a person. Because your business will not make the money. You will make the money because you drive the business forward. So you have to do a whole transformation with your life. And if you're not making your like specific target, or if you want to make an X amount of money per month, you have to be the person that deserves to make that money. You can't be that, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever is in the course, and then you're not doing a whole transformation with your life. It's not gonna work. So you have to really just, it's not about like what's the actionable here, what's the information do I need. Sometimes it's really about like, am I the person that is equipped? Am I equipped enough to be able to pull this off? So really just be honest with yourself, pure intentionality and pure accountability that, hey, I'm going to go through a whole transformation. This is not going to be just in business, but in my personal life as well.
Mhm.
Everything will change from now on. I will be that person. I will sit down every single day and make this work. It's about you. You drive the business forward.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And Zach, if people want to connect with you or just follow along with what you're doing, where can they find you?
I guess you could just hit me up on Instagram at Zack Vasquez FR. FR stands for real. It's me, Zack Vasquez for real. So yeah, Zack Vasquez at Zack Vasquez FR. Hit me up on Instagram.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Cool. We'll drop that in the description as well. Zach, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you so much, man. Really nice talking to you today.